Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good evening. It's the Lions Fan Cave Chat. I got myself and Will Vogel. We may have another fan hop in here in a minute, but here's the other intro that I love.
Here locally in the community, make sure y'all go check out Meat Cat Body by Jeremy Campbell.
So, good evening, everybody. We are here. We're going to talk a little Lions talk. We're going to talk about the OTAs, a little bit about the coaching staff, and how some people overreact when rookies struggle a little bit in OTA, which this is the voluntary mini camps. It's not even the mandatories yet. I think mandatories start up in another week or so. So, that being said, I understand JJ struggled, Caleb struggled. Oh my God, Hendon Hooker struggled today. It isn't that big a deal. There are things that are a big deal and things that are not. And lo and behold, there isn't a lot of big deals going on right now. Sion Vaki, from what I'm hearing out at camp, he's outworking Craig Reynolds, who had the block of the year last year. So that's huge. Hendon Hooker, for the most part, has been having a good camp. He had an off day. Caleb Williams had an off day yesterday. It isn't that big a deal. It's it's rookies playing in a camp, learning a new system. They're gonna struggle to learn. QB
Exactly.
is the hardest position in the NFL to transition from college to pro. JMO have a family member pass? JMO, on the other hand, is looking like the most improved player to Dan Campbell. And that says a lot.
Yeah, I'll be touching on that in a little bit.
King SKJ's in the chat. How you doing, Orlando? Matt Henry, our resident Bear fan who chimes in. And King SJ, we appreciate you all.
Yeah, King SJ was in my chat earlier. Welcome back, King SJ. Orlando, always good seeing you. And Matt, welcome, man.
Yeah, so what do you think about overall what's going on with the OTAs? What have you heard in your studies there, Will? Go ahead. The floor is yours, sir.
For the Lions, so what I've heard about JMO is a lot of good things. JMO wants to prove he's not a bust. Because I'm so sick of people saying, oh, he's a bust. He missed part of the year a few years ago because he got suspended. Also, this guy is improving in or camp, and he has expressed in camp he wants to grow off the field and on the field as a person because that gambling issue wasn't a pretty thing. And when you get a young guy to say, I want to grow on and off the field, that shows the maturity of a player and what they want to do on and off the field. The other thing is I saw Carlton Davis was talking about Aaron Glenn, saying high praise about Aaron Glenn. Well, we'll see what Aaron Glenn does. This is a revamped defense. And then lastly, we heard Dan Campbell talk about the injury report, including Brian Branch and what he thinks Brian Branch is coming back. So yeah, nothing bad, no injuries, nothing bad. I haven't heard anything bad.
Thank you, Will. Now, like I said, Sion Vaki, he's been just showing out lately, looking much better than Craig Reynolds this camp, which is rare to hear a guy that's a 5-year vet have a rough camp and a rookie outshine him. Now, granted, he was a UDFA when he came into the league, an undrafted free agent that was picked up, I believe it was either by Cleveland or Cincinnati, and he was left on the practice squad, which is how the Lions acquired him. But since he's been here, he's been a nice addition. And the other thing is, almost everybody who has been a vet on defense is coming in looking yoked. Derek Barnes is built better. Broderick slimmed down and added more muscle. Uh, Malcolm Rodriguez is coming in yoked. Aiden Hutchinson looks yoked. So I like it.
Always good to see a guy come in yoked as opposed to overweight.
I must be living in effing hell right now, JMO Instagram post. Yeah, because a lot of people talk crap to him on his last one when he talked about how hard he's working to become a better part of this team.
Yeah, I agree, King SJ. Vaki is I think he's going to be a special player in this league.
Well, we know he's going to be involved in special teams because he was an avid kick and punt returner. He also was a willing tackler in the punt formations. Yeah, I don't think it's anything serious. I just think people have been giving him shit.
Yeah, calling him a bust, which he's not, like I said.
And I watched JMO's presser. When you talk about maturity, it was night and day difference from his rookie year to now. He actually looks like he knows how to address the media, look them in the eye, and talk to them. He's a very introverted type of person. And I'm quite sure on draft night, he probably had a buzz because he was in, he was there at the draft when he was drafted. So
Mhm.
partying all night. And the difference between that Instagram video when he went to the fights in Vegas after the suspension, which isn't a big deal because it wasn't his Instagram it was posted on, it was his buddy's. He was just tagged in it. Was it a good look? No. He just got suspended for gambling. But if you're suspended and you're not at the team facilities, it's legal to gamble, so why not do it in Vegas? Well, there's a pecking order as to what's hard to learn. No, it is not time to write them off yet. And lots of people have, including people on other teams. We get crapped on by so many teams outside of our team in the division. It isn't funny about JMO, but they don't like it when we are able to crap on them about something. I mean, Jordan Love sat behind Rodgers for 3 years. It was not his rookie season. I'm looking for an exotic food store because I want to get a pound of panther. I want to get a pound of bison or buffalo. Haven't been able to find a pound of Seahawk or Cardinal yet.
Yeah, I heard those are really hard to get.
Yeah, Cartiers are expensive. Those buffs like Terrion Arnold wants to get, but he's got the money to do it with his signing bonus.
Yeah,
But
I have to work over the holiday.
I work tomorrow and then I got my normal 2 days off. But I
Nice.
am going to get a pound of buffalo because you know what? That's easy to find. You can actually find that at a regular grocery store. Buffalo. Need some smoking Jeremy B buffs. I've got my type of shades that I like, and it's just basically a silver frame with blue mirrored lenses. That way it goes with all my lion stuff when I'm driving down the road.
Yeah, I have prescription sunglasses. They're all black. They look
But
pretty good.
here's the other thing is all the coaching staff, they seem much more excited for this season than even they were last year. And I think it's because that attitude that Dan Campbell has seems to be bleeding into his assistants. I don't remember AG being this fiery last year in his media pressers. Um, nor Ben Johnson. Both of them are way more outspoken this year than they have been.
And
It is a holiday weekend here this weekend. It is Memorial Day. And Memorial Day is to honor all the soldiers who have died in service of the country.
yeah,
Veterans Day, which is in November, is to honor all those who are active and serving in the military. That is the difference between the two holidays. So
yes.
I always start my Memorial Day show because it's always on a Monday. I always start it with a moment of silence in honor of all those who are fallen soldiers.
And I love that.
Celebrating at Silver Lake Sand Dunes. Nice.
To bring up the whole Dan Campbell positivity thing, I think it's because what the line subtracted, they brought in positive additions like a Carlton Davis and few others, whether it's through the draft, free agency, or trade. This team will be improved, and you can tell, like Jeremy said, Ben Johnson is more vocal. Aaron Glenn is more amped up and ready. These guys are ready and are want to get back to and even further than last year. They're motivated. They're hungry.
The only thing that I'll say is the last thing I want to see is James Houston at the Sam linebacker playing coverage. You can
Yeah,
say Ben isn't leaving. We don't know. You know, somebody's going to make that offer and he's going to take it eventually. That's going to happen. When you are a hot offensive coordinator, you get head coaching jobs. Do they always work? No. Does everybody get a Super Bowl ring like Todd McShay or Todd McVay or Sean McVay, whatever the fuck his name is?
yeah, look at Kellen Moore.
Oh, he's now going to be a head coach at Idaho, I believe. Boise.
Really? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, because he's no longer on the coaching staff there in LA because it's a new coaching staff.
Forgot Harbaugh brought in a whole new staff.
Sounds like he's cool just being a coordinator. Somebody's going to offer that money he won't be able to say no to, is my point, Orlando.
Exactly.
It's going to happen.
Money talks.
Whether it's next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we don't know.
Yeah.
Career coordinators exist when they bomb interviews like Eric Bieniemy. Yes,
Hmm.
Eric Bieniemy has had 17 head coaching interviews offered. He's taken 8 of them and bombed every single one.
Yep.
Don't you guys find it funny that Ron Rivera was fired and immediately they fire Bieniemy as well? There was a lot of animosity between those two. They didn't click well together, which is another reason why He's now what, the running backs coach, or assistant running backs coach for San Francisco?
The enemy, yes. And Rivera is working for
And
ESPN.
Anthony Lynn is the running backs coach for San Francisco. Ben Johnson going to the Cowboys. You heard it here first. Jerry is the guy that's stupid enough to give him enough money to leave. That's
Yep.
probably true.
I do expect McCarthy do get fired this year.
But I just love what we're hearing out of camp so far. The attitude, the players sound like they're more into it. Carlton Davis is showing out. Jamison Williams is the most improved player coming into this spring. Uh, Hooker has had 2 good days and 1 bad day. It's going to happen.
Can I touch on that real quick?
Go ahead.
I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but Christian Booher said this, and I couldn't agree more. And I quote, in my opinion, this is about Hooker. That's what you're looking for, too. You just paid a guy $53 million a year for the next 4 years. You do not need a game breaker to be your backup quarterback. What you need is someone who can be a Teddy Bridgewater type, who can come into a game when a QB1 goes down. I couldn't agree more. Like, Hooker's going to take the reins eventually. Jeremy and I agree for sure. This guy's ready whenever the time comes. He will sit under Goff for like maybe 2 more years. This guy's going to be ready whenever his name is called.
But at the same time, there's a caveat to that. Like we said, look at the contract and the way it structures. It's a 2-year Super Bowl or bust contract. We have to at least get to a Super Bowl. Sheila said the goal this year is to hoist the Lombardi. She didn't say next year. She said this year at the uniform reveal. And like I said, that's the most exciting thing I've seen said by an owner of any team other than Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones literally said after he fired Jimmy Johnson, I just want to win one Super Bowl without him. He got his wish. Barry Switzer comes in with the team that Jimmy built, won a Super Bowl, and they haven't been back since. Coincidence? Sometimes you get exactly what you ask for.
Mhm.
And I think if they'd have kept Jimmy Johnson, they'd have had 3 more in a row because that nucleus of the team didn't change. That O line didn't change. The only thing that changed was Barry Switzer there for a minute.
Yep. Yep.
So, Will, you got anything else you want to talk about real quick?
Um, Nothing really I can think of. I'm just really interested to see what happens with the whole Jay Jetta thing and the whole thing with T. Higgins.
I really don't think anything's going to happen.
I don't either.
I think T. Higgins is going to end up having to sign his franchise tag to get game checks because it's going to cost him money out of his rookie bonuses right now for not being at camp. Not the voluntary one, but the one after it.
Yep.
Whatever that roster bonus is included in there, in that tag, it'll cost him. They got the cap. Who's got the cap? I don't understand.
Who's they? Bengals? Are you talking about Orlando? Pretty sure.
Remember, it's an extension you're talking about with Jay Jetta.
Mhm.
The Bengals really don't have the cap. They got enough to move like another 4 or 5 million onto what he's making. But I don't think T. Higgins is looking for wide receiver 2 money. I think he's looking for wide receiver 1 money.
And he is, yeah.
And with Amon Ra just getting paid 30 million, I think that's his asking price.
Yep.
Do I think T. Higgins is worth that? Probably not.
I like him as a former Clemson Tiger, but he is not a number one wide receiver. He's a solid number two.
Now, if he accepted Christian Kirk type of money at $17 million a year, I'd be down for that. But he's complaining about signing the franchise tag that's at 18-2 right now.
Orlando asks, do they have another guy holding out too? I'm trying to think.
No, Tyler Boyd was a free agent. He's gone. There's nobody else holding out for the Bengals. Jay Jetta's holding out of the voluntary, which doesn't cost him a dime. You can miss voluntary. Everybody freaked out because there was an injury list for people missing yesterday. But if you actually look, because they don't do a injury report, their holdout last year left.
I can't think of who held out last year.
He's not talking about Trey Hendrickson, is he?
It could be.
I thought he came back because they did extend him, but it is what it is.
So what do you want to talk about, Jeremy?
Oh, I've been talking about it. Hey, how about that? The Tigers beat the Blue Jays tonight, 2-6. Cole Keith
Yes.
had a good game.
Nice.
I mentioned Cole Keith because they paid him $26 million a year as a rookie contract. As his
How's
first
he playing?
well, he's got a nice average. He's north of 270, I think, right now. Let me double check.
Nice.
Eh. Who gets more sacks? Betts, Davenport, or Houston? It really depends on how they're used. It's a good question.
That is a good question.
Colt Keith.
What the heck?
He's dip, but he's got 14 RBIs. He's got an OPS north of 500, and he's got a 227. Yeah, Trey Hendrickson.
That was weird. I just went like this and it did the thumbs up emoji. I didn't even thumb up.
That's why I don't like iPhones. They have so many stupid little things.
They do.
Do this again.
Should I? I'll do it.
It didn't work.
Darn
Oh, well.
it. I'm not magic anymore.
Jays burned out their bats after last night. Yeah, Vlad Guerrero has not looked the same since his 48 home run season, and I don't think he ever will. I think he'll be a guy that once he gets his head right will be a solid 20 to 30 home run guy and get you somewhere between 80 and 100 RBIs.
I know where his head is exactly at. I think there's rumors that he could be moved.
Probably because he hasn't lived up to the hype of the contract they gave him after that great year.
Him or Bichette.
Bo Bichette, he hits the ball hard, but lately they've been a lot of line drives right to outfielders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He shows a little more promise. Vlad Guerrero is barely hitting the ball hard this year. He had one good shot yesterday.
Baseball
Baseball
players.
players seem so streaky these
Oh,
days.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's all about streaks. Kenny Maeda, the guy that just got done being sick and finally able to pitch again, pitched another decent night.
Yep. Yeah, he pitched well.
But right now, I'd keep Bo over Vladdy, but that depends on the day you ask me.
I would.
So
I would.
on the days when Vladdy goes 3 for 4 and he has a good outing, you want to keep Vladdy in because Bo will go, Otani? Otani is just tearing shit up. I'm sorry. As a batter, he's amazing.
Him or Mookie Betts can win MVP. It's going to be interesting because those two are teammates. Because Mookie can play second base, outfield, shortstop. God can play anywhere.
I mean, right now he's batting 348 and he has 34 RBIs already.
That's insane. Yeah, this Dodgers team is World Series or bust. If not, I'm calling it right now, and he should have been fired sooner. Dave Roberts will be fired.
Yeah, he's batting 342 with 13 home runs. 30. He had another 4 RBIs today, so that's 39 RBIs and 13 stolen bases. He has an OPS over 1.
That's just
That's
crazy.
insane. That's insane. I was so tempted to make a last minute trip to Comerica this weekend. I bet you were. I mean, because the Toronto's been playing good ball, but the Tigers do this. We go. Oh, Tani's all ready to go.
Mm, I
Well,
wouldn't call him the
how
GOAT.
many years has he been playing in America? What is it? 5 now?
5 sounds right. 5 or 6.
This is his 6th season. So, batting wise, let's just look at his numbers right now. He has 184 home runs after 5 seasons. That's with the 39. He has 472 RBIs. He has 375 walks. He has 99 stolen bases. His OPS is a 931 for his career.
Jeez.
The last 2 years in a row, he's been over the 1 mark. He had one bad year, which was 2020, and that was the year that he got most of his walks, a lot of doubles. He had a minor shoulder injury, but it was his non-throwing shoulder, and
Yep.
that affected his batting and his swing a lot. That was the only down year for home runs. But guess what? He still got 7. Oh, but he's not pitching this year because he just had that elbow surgery for the UCL, Tommy John surgery. So
Yep.
he won't be pitching this year at all.
Nope.
But at this point in his career, because he's been batting and pitching at the same time, he has better statistics than Babe Ruth had after 6 years of both.
Yep.
And that's adding them together and figuring out the wins above replacement on today's modern metrics.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, if he's able to play out this 10-year contract, he will be the GOAT. I think he has the best shot to break the Barry Bonds home run record, not just the Hank Aaron one.
I hope he beats the Barry Bonds home run record. That shouldn't even be Barry Bonds' home run record.
Hey, at the time,
It was
it was
legal.
allowed. It was legal. So
Yep.
I don't care. Those numbers should count, but it should have an asterisk.
I agree. No,
A
I
lot of
agree
these home runs
100%.
happen because he had over 300 home runs with the Pittsburgh Pirates when he was a third of the size that he was, and
When
his
he
head
was
was
a
half as small.
twig.
Yeah, he was just such a pure, natural hitter.
That's an interesting question, King SJ. I really do. I'm interested.
No, because guess what? The way it's laid out, it's totally fair, and he still gets all that money. The problem is if it's not insured, and he didn't set up a beneficiary like his wife. What happens if the plane crashes and he dies sometime during his career? Who gets that money then? No one.
Yep.
It's a 10-year window to have the best pitcher that anybody's seen on the West Coast, and the best hitter.
Yep.
If I'd have had the money and we were there, his translator gets it. No, he don't get it. He's going to jail.
No, his translator is going far away from any money.
I just Those numbers astound me.
Yeah.
In his 6 years, he's went across the plate himself is 467. He's had
Crazy.
750 hits out of 2,685 at bats.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
guy's a stud.
guys.
And if I remember right, he had to quit like just before the All-Star break in 2020 because of that shoulder.
I believe.
Watch him learn how to switch hit. God, if he learns how to switch hit, remember
It's
when
over.
Barry Bonds was a twig, he was a switch hitter.
Mhm.
He stuck to the left side because his right arm was dominant for the left-handed batting
Yep.
stance. And he actually started swinging towards the end of his career after he bulked up. If you remember right, every now and then, if he'd lose his pop late in the game, he would switch to that Henry Aaron opposite hand up top to pull the ball through. And
Yep.
that's why they always went down the right field line into McCovey Cove.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. The Hank Aaron grip is crazy.
It works,
Oh yeah. No, it does. There's proof.
right? Because if your right arm gets tired because you're pushing through, you can actually pull the ball through faster with your left hand over top for a right-hander.
Yep. Speaking of like NFL records, do you think any records fall in the next 20 plus years, like the Paul Krause interceptions and that stuff, Jeremy?
Somebody's going to have to actually do it. Until I see it, I won't believe it. The closest we got was Trayvon Diggs with his 11 interceptions his rookie year to
Yeah.
breaking his 14 his rookie year. And the 81 interceptions. Now think about it. He did that over a 10-year span when they didn't throw the ball a lot.
And less games.
Right, 12 games a year, and it went to 14 games a year in the early 70s.
Yeah. Do you think, in your opinion, do you think we'll ever see someone break the Norm Van Brocklin most passing yards in a game? I don't think we will.
It was over 500, wasn't it?
Say it was like
Wasn't it like
540.
either 540 or 550? It was like one over that number, if I remember right.
Yeah.
It's either 541 or 551. That one I can see just because of the talent level of the receivers are so much better than they used to be.
True.
You can say
I
the
don't
extra
think.
game will do it, but you know what? Somebody's got to last 10 years in the NFL to do it.
Because the careers are like now.
So that means they have to average to beat it 8.1 interceptions per year, every year, even outside of their prime, to get that.
Yeah.
That's going to be hard to do. Because
Yeah.
look at the fall off Trayvon Diggs had since he actually learned how to cover instead of just being a jump ball artist like he was.
Yeah.
He went from 11 to 5 to 6.
Yeah. I don't think anybody touches the all-time sacks record for a while.
That's Bruce Smith, right?
Yeah, I think the cloak. I think Julius Peppers ended at like 198 or point five or something. 190. I don't know. Something really high.
Right. You usually blowouts to get that kind of stats. They take starters out these days, but they
Exactly.
don't take starters out at safety very often.
No.
Defense. As far as blowouts, I think the closest we saw, didn't Tom Brady get like 480 or 490 in a game when he was with Tampa Bay the first year on their Super Bowl run with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and AB?
That sounds right. That really does sound right.
And I can't remember that they had that tight end that was doing so well. He was a rookie then. Was that OJ?
Was it Cade Otton?
Kate Otten is who took over. It was the OJ kid that they drafted.
OJ Howard
Yeah,
from
OJ Howard.
Alabama.
Yeah, the first couple games he was great. He got hurt, and then Kate Otten got better as the year went on and had some really good games, but he wasn't fantastic.
Yep. Yeah.
two horrible defenses game. I think the Lions were in a game like that. Yeah, where they lost to the Jets in week 1, 2018. The first year we had Matt Patricia. Ugh.
Oh yeah, you've talked about this game.
What was that? A 5 interception game by Matt Stafford? If
That
I
sounds
remember
right.
right. 5 or 6. Yes, Drew Brees had a 500-yard game too, but I'm talking about in recent history. Drew
Yeah.
Brees did that back their Super Bowl year, if I remember right, when he had his 500-yard game. I think it was like 512. Peyton Manning had one 500-yard game with the Broncos. I think even Matt Stafford had a 500-yard game one time with the Lions back when CJ Megatron was here.
Yeah. Yeah, 500-yard passing games are hard to get to.
It was 554 yards
Mm,
and 5 touchdowns. Yep. The 300-yard game Megatron had and Staffy had 500.
that's
Yeah,
just insane.
511 if I remember right. That was 511 yards that game. And Megatron either had 296 or 306. I can't remember which.
Yeah, that was a fun duo to watch.
But 550. The
Jeez.
500 Club in the Pro Football Hall of Fame includes Derek Carr. He's had a 500-yard game. There's only 18.
Really?
Vince Ferragamo for the Los Angeles Rams versus the Chicago Bears went 30 of 46 for 509. Phil Simms did it. Dan Marino did it. Warren Moon did it. Boomer Esiason did it. Elvis Gerbeck did it.
I didn't even thumbs up. You
And I was
silly
right.
fuck.
It was that year, the 2006 year. Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger with 503, Tom Brady with New England for 517, Matthew Stafford versus the Green Bay Packers, 36 of 59 for 520 yards and 5 touchdowns. Eli Manning did it versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 510 yards. Matt Schaub, while he was with Houston, did it versus Jacksonville, 527. Tony Romo did it versus the Broncos, 506. Ben Roethlisberger again in 2014 versus the Colts.
That's
Philip
crazy.
Rivers, Chargers versus the Packers, 503. 2015, Drew Brees, 511. October 2nd, 2016, 503 for Matt Ryan. Derek Carr versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in
It's either the Bucks or the Packers.
2013. It's been the Packers, the Bears,
Or the Buccaneers.
and the Panthers that have given up 500 yards.
Not surprised. Jeremy, Orlando had a question about Flipper Anderson, and King SJ asked about a
Flipper
question.
Anderson's still champ, right? Of what?
What is he the champ of? I know he was a wide receiver.
Oh, most receiving yards in a game?
I can't even think who it is. Oh, King SJ answered the question.
Never mind, it wasn't.
So
'Cause I
who's the dumpster juice team this year? The Panthers. I think the Panthers are a 3-1 team, but I need to do more
Flipper
research.
Anderson still holds it with 336 receiving yards versus the Saints. Giants for me. It's flip a coin. Is it going to be NFC East or NFC South that is the worst division in football because of their low teams? I'm gonna say
I
NFC
think
South.
I do too.
I think it's gonna come down to the Falcons and Bucks, but I think the Bucks have more firepower on defense and on offense. But we'll see because Dave Canales isn't there to be the Baker Mayfield whisperer.
Yep. Yeah, I have the Panthers winning 3 or 4 games.
Daniel Leonard, NFC North, because they all trash.
Leonard, I see you in the chat. What are you doing there?
If you're that away, cop on the show. Not sold
Ye-
on the Falcons yet. They got plenty of weapons. Kirk Cousins is really good in the regular season.
Oh, Jeremy, I
Megan,
told my
Aussie, Gaw Kroger. Greetings, gents. Go Hawks. Good to see you.
Megan.
How are you doing, young lady?
Jeremy, I told my friend about the Dak Cousins and the
Prescott.
Kirk Prescott joke. Dude, he died laughing. And I'm like, don't quote me because of that. That's my producer.
This is only year 2 for Bryce Young.
Number 2.
He was just
No,
drafted
he's
last
not
year.
on thin ice. He's on an ice cube in my eyes.
Well, that's with you because you didn't want him in the first place.
No, never
But at
wanted.
the same time, I think you guys would have ruined CJ Stroud too.
We would have. We would have.
I mean,
Oh my God! Did you see what Dan Leonard said? Falling asleep in my bowl of cereal.
yeah, I know he's that tired. He worked all day.
I
I was
know,
gonna tell
but
him to
that's
not put
just
that on
funny.
here.
Oh, feel better, Megan.
Have the migraine from hell, but I'm here for some well-informed chat. I must be in the wrong place. Oh, we were talking about record holders and people that have done amazing things in football because we already talked about the OTAs already.
Yep.
Um, we were talking about will Norm Van Brocklin's record get broke? The game has not gone any longer, and 554 yards is hard to top.
In less games, which is insane still.
No, it's a single game record.
Oh yeah, dog.
And then we talked about who's going to be the worst team in football this year, and I said it's flip a coin. Flip
S-
Orlando and how horrible Vegemite tastes. Flip a coin on whether it's the Panthers or the Giants.
trying to think who else could be pretty bad.
Orlando
I think the Cardinals are gonna struggle too still.
Orlando Escorbano, today is not the day to annoy me. Well, it sounds like everybody had a rough week or a rough day or whatever. But you know what? The blessing is the fact we're all here, still here to talk about it, everybody. Say what you want. That's the blessing.
Yep.
If Will says the Seahawks, I will come up on the path. No, he wasn't gonna he said he thinks the Cardinals will be better than some people think. Sheila's
No, I think the Cardinals are gonna
oh,
be bad still.
you're trying to start shit with the wrong woman.
Um, no, I said I think the Cardinals are gonna stink still.
No, I know, but I think they're gonna be better than everybody thinks, but not good enough to win anything out there.
Yeah, true.
I think they're gonna beat up on some bad teams around.
Oh, dang, Orlando.
But that isn't that Australian for woman? They say Sheila all the time. It is.
I don't know.
I think the Cards may surprise everyone. They might. It
If
might be the
Mighty
first time
Mouse can throw a dime.
it
Sorry.
might be the first time they've had a 1,000-yard receiver since Larry Fitzgerald retired. Oh, it's a derogatory term for lady. Okay. No problem.
I did not know that.
Oh, it's kind of like somebody calling a Fräulein Schweinehund in German.
I know exactly what that means because I speak part German.
Look at our last names. They're both German.
Yep.
Yeah, they're not any worse, and I think they did get better. I like Marvin Harrison Jr. on accident is better than Marquise Brown.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think what else they drafted this year, but I can't remember exactly.
I've been trying to find them at the store, Megan, because I'm trying to have a grill with all the opponents for the Lions, but I can't find sea chickens anywhere.
I had to.
I speak some German. Volkswagen. Arfen puking.
Oh man, Leonard, you're killing me.
Yes, it is still 2 easy wins for the Hawks. Yes, I agree with that. I don't see how they can beat the Hawks. The only Orlando Escobar. That's fine. Sea chickens, right.
Oh wait, that's wait,
It
maybe
almost sounded like a turkey gobble.
Oh, I can do that too.
Don't.
I'm not going to. That's for the after hour show, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm kidding.
Well, there won't be much of an after talk tonight. Looks like Cameron is still stuck on traffic because of the weather
Oh,
down there in Texas. Um, we do go off the air here in just under 14 minutes.
maybe Dan Davis will pop in for the after show.
I sent him the link. The German that I know was learned from a former SS member who came to the States, so was not the nicest things.
Yeah, probably not.
Will can't tell the difference between a turkey and a chicken. I'm concerned for the youth.
I've had a long day, but yeah, I don't know what's going on up here. I'm in football zone. I'm not in animal zone. Ooh,
Sure, let me send it to you there, Fraulein.
Fraulein. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My German heritage runs deep. Yes, it is, Megan. Long day. Your day is rookie numbers. No, I know. Von
Compared to
Du,
you,
I
everybody,
appreciate.
everybody has had a short day, sir.
Von Du, we appreciate you. You work your butt off, and we love you, man.
I had to recopy the link so I can paste it to you there.
Jeremy, when's that coat from or sweatshirt? Because you wore it this morning. I forgot what you said. I love it. It looks awesome.
I bought it's a 1998 edition. Last year we had Barry Sanders.
So cool. So cool.
I just sent you the link. You link there, Megan. You have been pretty much awake for 2 days. Careful, she's spicy. She's gonna light us up. Hey, if you talk crap in the chat, she deserves to.
Yep.
No rest for the wicked, Dan Leonard. No, you're not kidding. You're right. He is wicked. I've heard how he talks to people.
Oh yeah. Megan, if you're still in the chat, is there like a club for like the Seahawks in Australia? Because I
You can
know.
ask her right now.
Oh, I can ask her now. Hi, Megan.
Hey guys, what are you asking me?
You're right.
I know each team has like a fan base for like in soccer. There's like fan bases all across the U.S. for certain teams. Is there
Mhm.
like a Seahawks fan base like over in
There is a very
Australia?
large Seahawks fan base in Australia, due to the fact that our punter is Australian. Of course, Michael Dixon, and I actually knew him kind of, excuse me, when I was in Sydney, and he was playing Australian rules. Not as big as America, even Canada, but yes, we do have a fan base.
That's what I was thinking.
I
I
gotta say
think
hello to New Breed 313 Sports. Hello, fellas and lady. How are you doing? I added the and
New
lady for
breed.
him to
thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Although, if you know me, JB, and you boys are getting to know me, I ain't a lady. I'm
Hey,
just saying.
being
So,
polite.
guys, hey, fellas. I'll answer.
Okay.
But to answer your question, well, yeah, we do. We have just a couple of years ago, 12 North came into being. That's our Canadian fan base, which is quite large, given geographical location, particularly on the east side of Canada. Vancouver has a lot of 12s. The Aussie number one team, that's hard to say. I'm very well, thank you, New Breed. It depends where you are. Like, I live in a country town, so it's Seahawks. You go to the city, and there's a lot of 49ers fan. I mean, it depends entirely where you are. San Francisco, because of the rugby players, yeah. I know Eagles fans. I know Cowboy fans. I don't think there's any one sort of thing you could say, oh, that's Australia's team. Yeah.
And
So,
because of lately, because of guys like Matt Farniok and a couple others that have been added, the Lions are a growing fan base in Australia too.
yeah, definitely. I know a few good people that are Lions fans. My New Breed, sorry, Jeremy, I'm jumping all over the place. New Breed, my favorite Seahawks of all time are our inaugural quarterback and wide receiver, Jim Zorn and Steve Largent. I've got
Yes.
their jerseys hanging in my closet. 10 and 80.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw some guys on Sideline Sports talk to Steve Largent at the Super Bowl on Media Row, and that
Yeah.
guy's really smart because he ran for Congress after.
Yeah, he was in the Senate for a lot of years. I think for 12 years. He had a 14-year career. And
Way to go.
can I just say, Houston to this day are spewing that they let Steve Largent go because he was
Who was the safety that laid Largent out at
that
the
was
end?
hard. That was Denver. And then the beautiful thing 6 weeks later is you see he's standing there and Largent comes in almost like this and just nails him.
Oh yeah, he laid Largent out. No,
Yeah, broke 3 teeth, very nearly broke his
and then
jaw,
he had an
concussed him.
It was an interception, if I remember right. It was a poor
That's
pass,
right. Yep.
and the safety got it, and he's trying to run up, and Largent laid him out. Oh,
Yeah,
you're
and it was beautiful because then Steve jumps up and starts talking shit, and Steve and Jim Zorn saw it all happen, and he said, "I've never seen Yoda, Steve,
I'm
talk
not gonna
crap."
lie. I wanted K9 right here in Detroit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, I love K9. My big pick that I picked weeks before the draft, months before the draft, and I have a signed painting of him in my living room, was Charles Cross. I love him. He better have a good year this year.
He didn't
Yeah,
have a bad year last year. I just don't think he was able to stay on the field for all of it.
yeah, he did have a lot of injuries. He had, I think it was a shoulder, or
A
something up.
shoulder, and then also I think it was a hamstring later on in the shoulder
Could
early.
have been. He and Zach Charbonnet. I'm a big
He's a stud.
Charbonnet fan, and he needs to have a good year. I don't think we used him.
Oh, that's cool, New Breed Sports. He's actually met K9.
That's awesome.
Oh, you've met him. Oh, I'd love to meet him. He seems
I'm
like just
guessing you're
the
a
gentlest
Spartan fan
guy.
then. I'm guessing he's a Spartan fan then.
I've met a few Panther players. I would say the nicest one I met, and I told him on my fantasy team, I let him have dinner with his family first, was Greg Olson.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Sorry, my camera just froze.
He lives in Charlotte. Yeah, he's one of the nicest guys. He gives back.
We only got a couple minutes left, and I should get through my sponsors real quick.
Yeah,
because
go do it, Jack.
We'll
You know,
talk
everybody
after.
knows this one, and even the Seahawks hate this team. It's FTP. It's for the people while we're live on the air, but we all
Oh, we know
know.
what that means. You've told me what that means, and there better never be an S after that, by the way.
And of course, we have our paying sponsors, which is Gloss Negron, the best window tinter in Saginaw, as voted through the Better Business Bureau last year. And he's up for the vote again this year. He's already in the top 5. The bottom 10 of the 10 has been eliminated. So please, if you are in the Saginaw area, go to the Chamber of Commerce and place your vote for Gloss Negron. 409 Hamilton Street, 989-443-9240. That's the number you call to set your appointment to get your windows tinted or your car detailed today. You can make it look real nice like this 300 C-Class or
Ooh.
Maserati SUV.
Sorry. Thought I turned that down.
And last but not least, my place of employment. It is Brandon Service at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road right here in Flint. And no, that is not a child pedo van.
Are you sure of this?
I'm
I
sure
require proof.
all it's used for is to run dead tires across the street. But we have used and new tires. If you need new tires, please give us a call at 810-233-8230. Ask for George Red or myself, Smoking Jeremy B. If you need just some tires to get you by, come on in. $40 and up for the used tires. Look at that. Orlando is going to... And just to show you what type of cars we've worked on, because I've worked on better ones, but this was the coolest one to have a picture of. It was a 1963 European edition Rolls-Royce Silver Phantom.
Can I just say, not that one, but my father, before he passed away, collected cars, and he had one that was used by the Queen's representative in Parliament in this country. So,
oh, wow. That's awesome. But that actually has all the controls on the right-hand side of the car versus the driver's side.
Oh, well, excuse me, we drive right-hand side here. It took me so long to get used to sitting in the front passenger side where the driver's side would be down here when I was in the States. That was very
Oh, I don't doubt it. It's no different than when we go to Europe or your country. It's foreign. You know what I mean? You
very disorientating.
And your feet are messed up because what normally would be your brake pedal now, you're using
Yes.
your positioning for the other foot. And it's like, that's usually my clutch.
Why am I going faster? I'm supposed to be slowing down for this. Oh, yeah.
And that's awesome. You know what? And I don't even hate Spartans, and I am a Go Blue fan. I'm not going to lie to you, New Breed Sports. Don't hate me for it, because I don't hate you for being a Spartan fan.
I'm a Trojan.
I absolutely loathe Ohio State.
Trojan, USC, Trojans.
Clemson fan for Will.
Go Tigers,
Can't
baby.
help bad luck, brother.
Hey, we're going to be better this year, hopefully.
Well, you can't be any worse. I'm going to stop because, yes, you can.
Yeah, everybody
Yes,
can.
we can.
But
Everybody
it's
can.
time for me to give you the notification about where we do our show before we end it.
Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Thank you, everybody. Try every day to be a better person.